Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD. All right, all you positive heads, welcome to the show. Here we go again. So happy to be here with you all. Another day in paradise. It is Friday, TGIF, as I record this. Hope you're enjoying your day that ends in Y, whatever day that may be, wherever it is, whenever it is. Got some good stuff to chat about today. Had a little bit of a synchronicity with today's episode, so pretty sure I'm talking about what I'm supposed to talk about today. I love it when I'm kind of considering what I'm going to talk about, and then all of a sudden something comes through that is sort of a confirmation that I am on the right track with the direction for the day. So before I jump into that, though, I would like to take a moment and read a new review on iTunes. You guys know how much I love the iTunes reviews. It helps us to reach new people, helps me to continue doing what I'm doing here, fueling my labor of love. This particular review is by Not Sleepwalking, and Not Sleepwalking says, "Best meal of the day. In a world where so many are becoming more aware of alignment and consciousness, it is so important to keep our souls fed and thriving. Brandon is doing just that. Not only is he facilitating the access to this sustenance, he's opening more avenues of understanding for people. I've been on this soul-searching journey for 5 years and have learned so much. I continue to learn, but there have been some things that on my own I don't think I was quite ready for. I've been listening to the podcast for about 2 months now and have really enjoyed it. But listening to Brandon's interview with Garnet Schulhauser and Derek Rydell were the exact people who could provide the information I needed to fully comprehend the readings I had found, but didn't quite resonate with. Thank you, Brandon, for doing what you're doing. Thank you for sharing your light and love with us all and being an awesome co-creator here in this experience. We love you too." Aw. Thank you so much, Not Sleepwalking, for indeed completing the circle of love by making me smile on this fabulous Friday. And keep on doing what you're doing. You have obviously been on the path for a while, and you keep on, reaching to learn more. And of course, we're all learning. I always say it best, or say it. Well, yeah, I say it best. Sure. I always say it here on the show. You guys have heard me say we teach best what we most need to learn. And I need to learn this stuff as much as any of you guys. And so one of the reasons I'm doing it is because this exact review, right? It is that the daily sustenance. So when I'm getting myself into this vibrational state, I am drumming up the vibration of this high vibe soul food, right? As I talk about it, as I play with the ideas, as I connect with all of you, it is truly feeding my soul as much as any of you guys. And so it's truly an honor and privilege to play this game with you all, right? To connect in this unique and fun way. Speaking of connecting in fun and unique ways, I was sitting here listening to a clip. I haven't played a clip here. I don't think I played one this week. I don't know. It all runs together, but definitely haven't been playing too many clips as of late. And so I was listening to something. One of the ways I like to get myself into that vibrational state is finding clips out there that I enjoy and love to hear. And of course, then I share them on the show. And a lot of times, I share Abraham because there's so much content out there and it's always, always good. So I was listening to one by Abraham, and it was called Believe in Yourself. And brand new, brilliant segment just from 2017. Believe in Yourself, brilliant segment it's called. And as I was listening to this, I started checking my email at the same time. And lo and behold, I had a email from a listener, and it's a listener, sort of a longtime listener. I've interacted with this person before, this friend, this member of the Soul Family. Oh, speaking of Soul Family, if you guys aren't on the Positive Heads Facebook group, please get on there. And anyway, so this person basically wrote in and said, hey, didn't want to post on the group, still a little nervous about sharing because of the nature of this, but would feel free to share without my name. So I'm going ahead and doing that because the timing of it was literally as I'm, listening to this clip about believing in yourself. What is he writing about? Well, let's listen. Let me read it for you guys. The last few years continue to be very challenging, dark, frightening. Many things falling apart, breaking up, old unresolved things resurfacing. I thought dealt with, but not apparently. Much loss and pain. I've been able as a musician to use music to heal and keep me focused and connected to this planet, though, and I'm grateful for that. A few years ago at work, I started noticing this beautiful young Latino woman, very stylish, and immediately felt a very strong attraction. I've interacted with her very briefly a few times, and she's also extremely nice and warm, though I was intimidated by her. I've always been conscious of being respectful and appropriate, as it's a work environment, and my personal situation is very complicated. I feel I'm in no place to be trying to connect with someone. Yet, in my mind, this woman seems so ideal to me, yet so far in so many ways from me. But I keep running into her and seeing her in the most unusual places. I started noticing that at times I will think of her and bam, she seems to appear. Sometimes I've even intentionally thought of her and she appears, like a game with the universe. What a shocker, huh? Once in a building I visit on my work route where she's based, as I thought of her and I hadn't seen her for a very long time and wished I could see her. And then I did in a very unusual spot, smoking a cigarette. This past weekend was crazy as I left work and drove an unusual route to the neighborhood I've been living in for a few months prior to a road trip and decided to stop for snacks for the trip. At the grocery with no thought of her at all, she appeared walking towards me down the aisle. I immediately let loose the broadest smile naturally. I couldn't help it. Seeing her in a place close to home and so far removed from where I normally would see her and again, the timing and chance. She smiled at me beautifully and waved in passing, as usual, wearing her big headphones. I saw her standing in the checkout line, but didn't want to seem creepy, so I didn't get in it, which I regret. But I know I'll see her again somehow. Every time I think she's moved on or gone forever, she appears. It's frustrating to see and feel such beauty, yet feel so separate because of perceived conditions. My personal life is a mess. I'm not feeling as confident as I had a couple years ago. I've gained a little weight. I'm not as stylish as I've been. I'm very broken apart. Yet the universe or whatever keeps presenting this gorgeous person to me, if only to appreciate and feel a beautiful smile and make eye contact. Who knows whatever connection there is or not, or to what degree of importance. My best friend studies and works with chaos in his field of work. He says the universe is chaotic, but there are pockets of apparent order. Yet within the larger chaos, just because there are coincidences doesn't mean it's not random according to his thought. Still, the magnitude of chance and running into someone meaningful at times seems so incredible to me. The fact that practically anything is happening at all in general is incredible to me. Besides the chaos and synchronicity aspect of crossing paths or seeing the person, it also touches a button in me that despite feeling like I'm not ready, or this is the wrong timing for this, or any number of perceived thoughts, it also feels like a wink from the universe or even a challenge in some way. When is anyone ready? If I were to truly accept myself, my situation, and truly living in the now moment, that should be ready enough, you'd think, despite whatever ultimately is the meaning of crossing paths with another human being. Maybe just getting a smile and a wave is plenty enough from the universe, which honestly made me feel very good, giving me a sense of amazement at the mystery we live in, and I'm grateful for that. Well, thank you for writing in. Obviously, well, we apparently have organized chaos here because as I'm listening to something that talks about believing in yourself and then ultimately moving into the now, as he touched on here at the end of this. What do you know? Some more organized chaos. Wow, there sure is a lot of it sometimes, isn't there? It's really, really interesting. So, well, we won't get into debating with your best friend, but, a lot of things here. And you're really answering your own question, isn't he, guys? I mean, he's saying, when is the right time? And he's got all these stories of why not, why it's not good enough. You'll notice all the problems, almost all the things that lead to where we don't want to be, or maybe to the lack of the abundance that we seek, is you can always look at the stories you've said about it or the tone you've taken. It's no, why not, can't do it, not good enough, not stylish enough. My hat is tilted 2 degrees to the left, too many. I mean, you can just make up so many reasons. Not in the best shape of my life. I don't look like, a bodybuilder at this moment. I mean, who cares? People, and I'm sure women will agree, I can obviously speak from the guy's perspective. Women will agree that they're not caring that you're in the best shape of your life necessarily. They're not caring about any of these little things that you're caught up on. You're not stylish enough. It's your self-confidence. It is believing in yourself. It's knowing and getting in touch with this divine part of yourself. That is what is going to be sexy to anyone. And that goes both ways, from, guy's perspective to the girl and the girl to the guy. It's all the same, right? We are attracted to that confidence, and that confidence comes from knowing who and what you are and bringing it into the moment. And what you are is literally the source of it all. You are divine. You are it. And you've got all these stories, and as you said, well, when is anyone ready? You're right. Now you're onto the right track. All these stories, all this energy about what's wrong and why you couldn't and why you shouldn't and why you might not and what could, all that. It's just a story you're telling. What about if that's the perfect time for it to happen? What about all those reasons you're telling why it shouldn't be or couldn't be or might not be is exactly the opposite of what's true? What if what's true is the love story that you wanted to write in your life comes from the person in that state, and from out of that state, this angel appears and sweeps me off my feet, and it's like something magical out of a movie, and it changes my world and helps me to get to the next greatest and greatest version of myself. Start telling that story instead. How about that? Okay, so what a great thing that so many people can relate to, though. We've all felt like this to some degree or another. Some people have been eaten alive with this sort of perspective. Others of us have, had moments of that sort of feeling. So this is something that everyone listening, I'm sure, can relate in some way. So thank you for writing in and being vulnerable and sharing with me here and sharing with the audience. So what I'd like to do now is move to playing this clip that I was listening to when this letter came in, which I would say this organized chaos is perfectly for this person. You're meant to hear this. We're all meant to hear this, for that matter, I would say. Let's listen.
Here's the thing. These are perfect words that you're offering. Mm-hmm. A strong desire that hasn't manifested means that your usual conversation about it is going to be detailed and negative. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. Because if you've got a strong desire and it hasn't manifested, then it backfires on you. So what is the logical thing? If you've got a strong desire that isn't manifesting, which means you've got some detailed stuff going on that's holding it from manifesting, that's causing the resistance, that's keeping it from revealing itself to you because you're not ready for it to reveal itself to you because you're vibrationally out of whack. What's the logical thing to do? Go general.
Go general, less specific.
So when you said, I have these really strong desires, we want to say, well, soften them or distract yourself from them, or stop making them the big hairy deal that you're making them out to be, and go general. So what is the really strong desire that you have? Just speak one part of it.
Self-confidence.
So go general about that. Self-confidence, be specific. Be specific as you can be in a negative way, just for a moment.
I have self-doubt sometimes. And it holds me back. I criticize, I don't accept myself the way I am. I'm always striving towards that place to be.
You see how he started out, and now he's used the word always. So it's gotten more specific. I always do what?
I have such high standards, and I so want to be this specific being, and I don't allow myself to where I am now.
You started to say I always.
I'm not sure where
I always sabotage myself, or I always have self-doubt, or I always, so really specific and really uncomfortable. So go general right now in that subject. I'm not as confident as I'd like to be, but I guess a lot of people aren't. And I don't have to figure it out all right now. And things are getting sort of kind of better for me. Taken a whole lot longer than I want it to, but I guess I'll probably make my way along in time, just more general. And things are not really going so bad. There are a lot of things that are pretty good. And there have been a lot of things that I've wanted to accomplish that I have accomplished. And this is sort of the last holdout that I'm really looking forward to releasing. And I can feel that it's sort of a big key for me. So it's going to be really a satisfying sense of relief when I finally let go of it. And I have the sense I don't have to let go of it all at once, that it will be a sort of gradual thing. And so I think it's time for me to stop torturing myself about things that aren't happening this red hot minute, and just start appreciating the great life that I do have and the wonderful things that I am uncovering and discovering about myself. And I really like being alive at this time. This is a fun time to be alive. It's fun to know the concept of law of attraction. It's fun to know about my emotional relationship to it. I like knowing that the true presence of who I am is a really good feeling being. And it also is satisfying to me to realize that anytime I don't feel confidence, that I'm feeling doubt in myself, that what that means for sure is that I'm thinking a thought that my inner being doesn't think. So when I'm thinking I don't have confidence, my inner being's not going there with me, which must mean I have confidence, I'm just not letting in. I love it that my inner being hangs in there tough and sure and true to who I am. And I love the idea of me working my way little by little into more presence of how my inner being feels. And that's what confidence is. That's what the feeling of confidence is. It's that all-knowingness, not necessarily that I have all the answers right now this red hot minute. That's the discussion we had earlier, because you don't want all the answers this red hot minute. It would be a minefield to try to explore. I don't have to have all the answers this red hot minute, just the one that applies to what I'm doing right now. And I know that my inner being will feed it to me. I know that I'll just rendezvous with it. So next logical step. I'm so proud of how I'm doing. I'm so pleased. I'm so full of zest for life. I'm so eager about moving on. I love knowing who I really am and what my inner being really feels. And I don't think it's such a bad thing to know what my inner being feels by me knowing its opposite. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. When I feel rotten, that means my inner being feels great. That's worth something, don't you think? Mm-hmm. In fact, the rottener I feel is a greater indication of how good my inner being feels. Isn't that good to know? Inner being, it's disgusting that you feel that good. Because if you didn't feel that good, I couldn't feel this bad. You need to adjust something. And inner being just stands and smiles, waiting for you to join the confidence and the knowledge. Confidence comes with knowledge. Knowledge comes with presence of source within you.
Yes. And the confidence, I think I may have chosen the wrong word, but that's all accurate and very good.
No, you didn't. That's a perfect word.
For me, it's self-criticism. It's like they're not allowing where I am now. Like, it feels like my desire is so strong that where I am now compared to where I want to be.
Feels that my desire is too strong. Let's go back there. I've got such a strongly focused, I have a strong desire that I'm on the flip side of, and I can't get there from there. In other words, my desire is so strong but I'm not practiced in the other end of it. So every time you say that, you've been saying that a lot. I have a really, really, really strong desire. I have big goals. I have big expectations of myself and of life and of the government and of the economists. I have big expectations, and they and myself are letting us all down. In other words, and we say, go general, go general. It keeps working out. The earth keeps spinning. The sun comes up every morning. The plants keep growing. The water keeps flowing. My heart pumps all through the night without my attention to it. Things are working well. I have big desires, but I have in time the ability to achieve all of them. It's just one step at a time. I don't have to go faster than I can go. When Esther was growing up, she lived in a very small town. There were 721 people until she left. And she walked everywhere because it was small and the family car was not available to her. And she remembers the feeling of needing to go faster and not being able to. In other words, you can only walk so fast. In other words, she just wanted to teleport herself there. In other words, that feeling of impatience, of not being able to cover a distance any faster. And that a lot of you have those feelings. It's just in the airport, the announcement says, "Thank you for your patience." And Esther always says, "I am not patient." Don't thank me for patience. In other words, we don't want you to acquiesce. We don't want you to give in to that feeling of not enough momentum. And so when you say, "I have big goals," add to that, I have big goals which, like everybody's big goals, are unachievable all at once. It's not ever been my goal to live it all now. It's been my intention as I came forth to savor the unfolding of it. In other words, when somebody hands you an ice cream cone that is the most delicious ice cream that you have ever tasted. You've tasted it all of the flavors from all of the places, and you've identified that this is the one that you like the best. And it's this wonderful day, and it's piled high, and it's in your hand, and you don't say, "I'm going to see how quickly I can eat this." I'm going to see how fast I can bring this ice cream experience to an end. How quickly can I get this over with? Instead, you savor it, don't you? Don't you savor it? Don't you lick it off your arm and up your hand and around the cone?
Absolutely.
And you don't even want any of it to drip on the sidewalk. You try to get it all. In other words, you... And
that comes back to where I started with, that's the level of presence that I wish again. And I do have that experience, just speaking of the rushing and the fast pace and the trying to get to all these things that I want. And so I'm playing that game of balance.
But here's the game we want you to play. Because you've done the vortex work, then there's not a void of good things that are happening. There's a constant unfolding of good things that are happening. Information being given to you, being revealed to you, the path unfolding. And when you are in the process of closing that gap, you don't feel impatience. You feel gratified and worthy and satisfied and eager to watch the unfolding of it. It makes the farness from where you want to be even more delicious, because the journey is satisfying every step of the way. It doesn't matter how far you are from where you want to be, as long as you're moving in the direction of it, there's satisfaction, you see. And most people keep thinking that the satisfaction only comes when you get there. That's flawed. That satisfaction lasts that long. And then you're off saying, "Is that all there is? Is that all there is?" And so the closing of the gap is such a delicious thing as long as you're closing the gap. So we don't want you to be critical of your negative emotion. We just want you to make it more general so that you can begin feeling the momentum of closing the gap. You don't even have to be positive before you start feeling good. Isn't that weird? Because everything's relative. When you were specifically negative, being less specific negative feels better, and being generally negative feels better still. And then, can't you feel it beginning to build and build and build and build and build? And do you really want to miss any of that? Do you really want to miss any of that? Barbara and Esther were so playful in the airport in Atlanta that they began making friends with all kinds of people who followed them through. It was like they were making a movie together. One family was on the plane, on the tarmac, on the plane when they couldn't operate the jetway, on the plane when the jetway was this far from the ramp, where the jetway was this far from the plane, and they all could have easily leaped across it and made their flights, but they wouldn't let them because there is a federal guideline that says there cannot be a gap. And Esther said, I can't even spit in that hole. It's so narrow. In other words, really, no one could fall through that. Nothing could fall through that. But there is a rule. And so it's as it is unfolding and they are having fun with all of that, the flight attendant said to Barbara and Esther, on about 10 occasions, you're in timeout. Which was her way of saying, I'm really enjoying how much fun you're having in this situation. And then as they were leaving the area, Jerry wrote in his email that he sent to some, an awareness that just came to him recently, that if you will allow it, that all kinds of angelic people will rendezvous with you when you're ready to let it be. That as you share this planet with so many others, that if you will let yourself be in a place of receiving them, that every single one of them has the potential of exerting angelic influence into your experience, of uplifting you. Every single one of them, 100% of them has the ability if you're in the right place, you see. And so Barbara and Esther were standing there having this playful thought, and Esther thought about that and was speaking it to Barbara. And then this woman wearing the red coat, who had been putting them on timeout because she was making the gate announcements that there was a delay, but people were coming who hadn't heard it, and so they would go up and then she would beat up on them. And so Barbara and Esther were trying to save people the trouble of being beat up on. So they were trying to inform people as they arrived about what was happening. And then they would laugh about it. And then the people usually would say, well, I need to go ask anyway. And Esther would say, well, then go, let them beat up on you. But we're telling you what's going on. And then the woman would hear and she would say, you are in timeout, you are in timeout. And so as the whole thing was ending and they were finally getting on the delayed flight, the woman in the red coat came to Esther as she was thinking about Jerry's quotation. She made an announcement. My name is Angel. My name is Angel. And Esther said, of course your name is Angel. Could it be anything other than Angel with the ride we're taking here today? In other words, isn't the universe just knocking itself out big time? And then Angel came and wrapped her wings, we're not kidding you, around Esther and Barbara and said, thanks for keeping it light, ladies. Would you want to miss a manifestation like that?
No.
In other words, seems like a delay. Seems like I'm going too slow. Seems like something's gone wrong. When really what's happened is the universe has orchestrated for you an opportunity to savor life in detail. Because where are you going anyway? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? You want to go stand in a line at Disneyland? Where are you going? Where are you going? Isn't this why you're here anyway? Aren't you here for these interactions? Aren't you here for this co-creation? Aren't you here for these goosebump moments? Aren't you here to savor life with other savors of life? Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes, indeed.
Present in the moment.
Yes, thank you so much. Love you very much.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, Noom. Noom is a unique, habit-changing solution that helps users learn to develop a new relationship with food. And it's not a diet. No food is considered good or bad. As we talk about on this show all the time, it's all about proper balance and having good habits. And Noom just teaches you how to look within your own mind and make better decisions for yourself. Sounds familiar, right? It's based in psychology, eating better to feel better. It focuses on the story that we tell around food and how to feel good about our choices. And they make it all super easy to do with a minimal commitment of only 10 minutes a day, which is essential for someone like me with so much on my plate. Pun intended. So if you guys would like to try out the cognitive behavioral approach to losing weight that has led to 80% of Noomers finishing the program and 60% sticking to their goals for at least 1 year, head over to Noom.com/positivehead to start your trial today. That's spelled noom.com/positivehead. I mean, what do you have to lose except outdated habits and perhaps a few extra pounds by signing up for the trial? Once again, that's noom.com/positivehead. Check it out. So, what is this? The person who wrote in trying to do? They have an idea of something they'd like to manifest, but a strong desire that hasn't manifested means your normal conversation is detailed and negative about it. I think we could look at that and see that's what's happening here. So, what do? You start going general. If you noticed, even the person in this clip who's talking to Abraham, I always have self-doubt. I want to be confident. I want to be confident. I wish. I always. I want. I wish. These are obviously things pushing it. I always have self-doubt. I want to be confident. These are very strong statements in the opposite direction, right? Abracadabra. As I speak, I create. We need to really look at the self-talk. We've got to look at this self-talk. It's so easy to slip back in. It's just a game, a wink from the universe, right? Like you're saying, is this just a game with the universe, he wrote? Yes, it is. So start playing the game in a way that gets you past the level you want to get to, right? Where you sweep the girl off her feet in the grocery aisle. Well, maybe not. They might call the cops on that one, but you know what I mean. So, what else did Abraham say here? Basically, what Abraham was touching on, if you're not having confidence, you're not in line with your inner being or your higher self or your source, right? So any moment you're not feeling confidence, you're out of alignment with that, which must mean, what? If my inner being, my source isn't present, and I'm lacking in confidence, but it's not there. Well, that must mean it's somewhere else having confidence, right? It's more of a confirmation as to what you are. When you feel rotten, let's use that as a story to say, wow, I feel rotten. So I'm that much more sure my source feels great, right? Once again, what's she doing? She's spinning it. Abraham is spinning it in a way that gives you the perspective that serves you, right? She said, confidence comes with knowledge. Knowledge comes with presence of source within you. When you really know that the source is within you, you know it, like not just, hey, I'm talking about it here and this is a cool idea, a cool concept. You know it in your bones. You know it through and through. You've got to feel confident, right? You're the one that created all this. You're the source of it all. You're the one who also wanted to have the experience of not eating the ice cream cone in one gulp. The journey is the goal. The path is the goal. You wanted it to be satisfying every step of the way. You didn't want to talk to this girl the first moment you saw her. Now you have this long drawn out sort of experience that's built up. I can think of my last partnership. I had a whole intuition about being with this person a year and a half before it happened, and we barely knew each other. But what did my soul want? It wanted that experience. Oh, I have this intuition. Oh, I'm going to tell people about this intuition. Oh, this person lives 4 hours away and I barely know them. I don't know why. I have this intuition. What do you know? Manifestation. Who knows exactly how the magic works? Person moved to my town. Voila, we were in a 2.5 year relationship. So it is your creation. Start telling this story. Yeah, could it just be that this person is meant to inspire you and smile a little bit? And that's fine and good too. Because here's the balance here, right? Setting the goal, setting the intention to manifest what you want, and going after it, but without attachment. So person that wrote in, go after it. You got nothing to lose. Find the confidence. Yes, it's challenging you. Of course it's challenging you. Of course it keeps dangling the carrot in front of you. Yes, the universe, your higher self, whatever. It's challenging you to get off the fence. Get off the fence and make your move. You got nothing to set the intention. Next time I see her, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to think of it now, plan it now, play it out. How would I start that conversation in a way that might lead to coffee or whatever your version of how the dream would go, right? Because this is a dream that you're having. Makes me think of a rhyme that I wrote a long time ago that I never really put in a song. You guys know, some of you've heard, I played some of my band's old music, I don't know, at some show at some point in the past. And it makes me instantly, this old rhyme pops into my head when I think about the guy who wrote in here. And it goes like this. I once knew a man who had a plan. He never would jump, so it never could land. The closer that he got, the further that he ran. Instead of really living, life was slipping through his hands. I haven't thought of that one in a long time. That's good. It's perfect for you, mystery writer, since I'm not using your name. Keep that in mind. Jump. Don't be scared. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. I, for one, believe in you. And with that truth being said, I'll leave you for now with this lovely song by Wildlight, Twirl Me. Twirl on, lovely listeners.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
I saw a girl last night. She was standing in the light in a corner of the room. She was waiting for a hand. Then a boy came over and he asked her to dance. All I stopped to watch them. They moved up and down with the waves of the soul. Their moves keeping time for the rhythm. And the girl looked at him and she knew what it was. And she smiled as she said to him, please twirl me one more time and don't stop spinning me. Please swirl me in your mind so I can be a color painting that you'll look upon. Spin, spin with me. I heard a story about a man. He came up with a plan for flying. He showed it to his wife. Then he said, now darling, why are you crying so? And she whispered in his ear, I have a fear you won't come back down to this ground. And he said, I'll always come back to you. Just help me this once to get higher up. And he kissed her and he said, please twirl me one more time and don't stop spinning me. Please swirl me in your mind so I can be a color painting that you'll look upon. And he was off and gone. He was off and gone. There once was a woman lying in bed with her lover's head upon her shoulder. She said, my darling, you sound so faint. Don't tell me it's time, I just can't take this. she told her, please don't worry, dear. There's nothing to fear in moving on. But there's one thing I'd like to ask of you. And she said, just tell me, darling, I'll do anything, anything. She said, please twirl me one more time and don't stop spinning me. Please swirl me in your mind so I can be a colored painting that you'll look upon. And she was off and away,